Good morning. Today is April 21st, 2020, Tuesday. We are going to read information about emotional intelligence. The reading will give you the definition and examples of emotional intelligence, and we will go over the questions that you have to answer for the reading so that I know that you understood what emotional intelligence is. So, let's start reading. Emotional intelligence. Since early in the 21st century, there have been tests to measure an individual's intelligence quotient or IQ. Generally, having a higher IQ is associated with getting a better education and having a successful career. There seems to be another important factor in achieving success, however. Since the 1990s, psychologists have been using the term emotional intelligence to describe the kinds of emotional and social skills that play a part in an individual's success. So, let me stop here. What is the main idea in the first paragraph? So if you said that EQ is now the indicator of success, not IQ, you are correct, okay? So basically in the 1990s, EQ was described to be a part, or it plays a part in an individual's success. So you can be more successful if you have a higher EQ than a higher IQ. So let's go to the second paragraph. According to psychologists John D. Mayer and Peter Salve, emotional intelligence involves specific skills. This include the ability to identify your own emotional states and the emotional states of others with whom we are interacting. So basically this means that you know why someone is feeling a certain way and why you are feeling the way that you do. That's what that sentence means. Next one is to generate the appropriate emotions ourselves. So, for example, something sad happened in school or at home. Appropriate response would be, if something sad happens, you would cry, right? Or feel bad. But if you are laughing at something that's sad, then you are not showing the appropriate emotion. Next one, understand why we are feeling a certain way and why others are feeling the way they do. So do you know the reasons why you feel a certain way? Do you know why others feel a certain way? What are the reasons why someone could be sad, angry, happy, or excited? Okay? Need to know your feelings or emotions. Why are you feeling this way? And the next one is control our emotional responses, okay? So when you are controlling your emotional response, that means that if someone said something bad to you, do you just fight someone right away because they said something bad to you? If you want or do fight with someone just because they said something bad to you, you are not controlling your emotional response, okay? The best way to handle a situation like that is to talk to the person first and maybe ask that person, well, why did you say that, or why did you do that, instead of fighting, because violence does not solve anything. So I will stop there. I know it's a little bit longer, but I just wanted to make sure that you understand every point. So for the second paragraph, which is all of this, okay, what do you think the main idea is? So if you said, what do people with high EQ do? What do people with high EQ do? You are correct, okay? So what are some of the things they do? They can identify or know their emotional states and the emotional states of others, basically what they feel and what others feel. They can give the appropriate or correct emotions depending or based on the situation. And also they can understand the reasons why they are feeling this way and why others are feeling this way. And the last one is they can control their emotional response, which is very important. So let's start reading the last part, which is the third paragraph. While some have claimed that emotional intelligence is much more important than IQ, Mayer and Salvi dispute the claim. They do believe, however, that emotional intelligence is fundamentally important to relationships such as marriage and friendship, and for those holding jobs that require strong people skills, such as social workers, business managers, and salespeople. So let's figure out what is the main idea of the third paragraph. What is it trying to tell you? So if you said, in what areas is EQ important? In what areas is EQ important? You are correct, okay? So basically, Mayer and Salvi says that, emotional intelligence also include having, let's say, a good marriage and a good friendship, and also having people skills. When you have people skills, you can do well in jobs such as social workers, business managers, and being a salesperson. So basically, the two psychologists, Mayer and Salvi, they are just saying that emotional intelligence is more than, knowing your feelings or understanding why you feel that way and being able to control your emotional response. They're also saying that if you have EQ, you can do well in your relationships and also in certain jobs that require people skills. So that's what they're saying. So the areas that you can be good at when you have an EQ would be relationships and certain jobs such as these jobs. Okay, so that's the reading for today. Now I want you guys to answer the questions. The first one is, why is it important for salespeople to have emotional intelligence? So you have to give the reason for this, okay? This one is not from the reading. You have to infer. Remember, we reviewed inference before. When you are making an inference, you are making an educated guess based on what you know, okay? So what do you know about salespeople? Why do you need to have a high EQ to be a salesperson? So you can say, salespeople need to have a high EQ or emotional intelligence because, so you tell me the reason for that, okay? Next one, how can it help you to identify your emotional state? So we can say, identifying my emotional state can help me because, so just give me the reason how knowing how you feel, okay? For example, knowing why you are sad, angry, frustrated, or annoyed. How does knowing that help you? Okay, help your life, help you behave. Okay, so think of those ideas while you are answering this. The next one is, what is the difference between emotional quotient and intelligent quotient? So EQ and IQ. What is the difference between the two? So you can say the difference between IQ and EQ is, okay, so just give me the reason for that. The next one, describe a time when you use emotional intelligence in a relationship. So for this one, you have to tell me a story, okay? So what situation did you show emotional intelligence, okay? So for example, I saw my friend crying and I hugged my friend and told my friend that everything will be okay. So that's a story about a time when I showed emotional intelligence, okay? Don't copy my story. Think of another example that you showed emotional intelligence. And the last question is, your friend doesn't have a high EQ. Whenever an adult tells him or your friend what he needs to improve on, he gets mad at that person. How can you help your friend have a better EQ when faced or when dealing with this kind of situation? Okay, so basically what it is asking you here is, what advice should you tell your friend on how he can improve his behavior, or how can he deal with situations that he doesn't like, especially when someone gives suggestion on how he can improve his behavior. How can your friend deal with that better? Okay, so that's how you need to answer this question. So you can say, I can tell my friend to blank to deal with this situation better. Okay, and remember, the situation we are talking about is whenever an adult tells him what he needs to improve on. Okay, so how can your friend better handle this? So instead of getting mad or angry, what should your friend do instead? Okay, so those are the questions that you have to answer today. You have until 5 p.m. to send me the answers. Remember that if you don't understand anything, you can always send me a message. You guys have a good one. Bye!